Okay, welcome. So, we have a couple things to talk about before we actually start class. We'll be talking about possessive nouns. So, first, I want to see what we know about possessive nouns. And I do have some more questions when I do screen share with you. So, possessive nouns. Ken, what comes to your mind when you hear about possessive nouns?
Possessive noun like uh, Becky's, such possessive. Becky's
Yes.
computer, or yeah, uh, maybe it's describes the kind of position of something by somebody or something.
This is more complicated to explain than expected, isn't it? Yes, yeah, that's basically it. Masako, what about you? What do you
Yeah.
know about possessive nouns?
Sorry,
What do you know about possessive nouns? Do you know anything?
could you
Pos-
repeat it again?
yes, possessive nouns. Possessive nouns. If you look in the little chat box.
Possessive nouns. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm. Possessive nouns. Oh,
Anything, nothing, that's fine if you don't, because I have all the information you're going to need today. So don't worry
mm.
if you don't know.
Possessive. The mine or ours or
Okay,
yeah,
so mine, ours, yours, those kinds of things.
yeah.
Not exactly in this case, that does express possessive stuff, but not exactly the same. That's fine. That's
Mm.
actually not a bad answer. So hi Bob, nice to see you before we actually get started. We haven't started yet. We're talking about possessive nouns. Do you remember what possessive nouns are, Bob?
Oh, yes, of course.
What are they?
No, no.
Of course, nothing. No, that's fine. Don't worry. Well, I'm going to go ahead and screen share for us in just a second here. Possessive nouns and share. Okay, so possessive nouns. First, I mean, besides, okay, instead of jumping into what possessive nouns are, we first have to go a little easier. Okay, so, uh-oh, I'm going to show you the answer to. Okay, so what is a noun? We'll start with that. What is a noun? Normal, everyday noun.
Like a thing. Like the cup, like the computer, like the man, like the woman, like the. Yes.
Yeah, do you have any more kind of specific ways to say that?
Specific possessive nouns or only nouns.
Okay, that's fine. I would say, as we say in English, a common noun is a person, place, or thing. These are the kind of the three things I was looking for, but that's fine. Person, place, or thing. These are basic words such as house, car, person, pen, etc. So, Bob, you're right. Okay. Um, any other comments? This is pretty simple. I mean, these are just basic words.
Mm. Is the city also noun?
Well, a city, the word city, yes, would be a common noun. The other thing you're talking about is coming. So just one moment. For example, we have something more specific called a proper noun. These use capital letters. For example, Tom, Buckingham Palace, Bic for the pen. And this is where the city name would go. So if we say Austin, Texas, for example, it's
Yes.
more specific.
Hong Kong, example.
Hong Kong, exactly. Any questions for now? Okay, so we have a common noun and a proper noun. No?
No.
Right. And possessive nouns. Uh-oh. Ken already kind of explained what it is, so I will read this. It says to use possessive nouns. We use possessive nouns when we want to say an object belongs to someone. They are the owner or even possess or have something. So I tried not to use, the word that is used in the title, possessive, possess, but it kind of makes sense here. So they have something. So it's kind of saying Becky's headphones or Becky's computer or Becky's something. Yes. Okay. All right. So with that, any questions between those three types of nouns?
What is big, by the way?
That's the name of a brand of pens.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Because I took it from like the idea of my common nouns. So house, I don't have one. Car, I didn't have it. Person would be Tom. Pen would be Vic. So it's just a brand. It's a common brand here. You've never heard of it?
It's a ballpoint pen, right?
Yeah.
No. I just know zebra. So
Zebra?
I don't know this brand. Yeah.
What's this one? This one is too. Hold on. Well, let me just show you then. These are extremely common in the United States as well. So I'm a little bit confused on why you don't know, but they're these.
Mm-hmm.
These are big pens. Oh.
So is it the brand name or ballpoint pen in general?
A brand. It doesn't have. I have a lot of these pens, but I'm pretty sure they have different kinds, but these are the most common ones. This one's not. I have a lot of them. They're the most common pens here. Yeah, they're just simple pens, but they can be more. They have different types of like the fine tip, the felt tip, that kind of things. But yeah, these are super common.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, back to the presentation. One moment. Possessive nouns and share again. Okay, put these back where they were. Okay. Any other questions? No?
Well, nothing so far.
Well, that's good. That means everything's going well. So now we have to talk about the rules because you think, oh, well, it's just the apostrophe S because it's Becky's computer, for example. But some things can become more complicated. So when a singular noun becomes possessive, all right, so singular noun, regular normal noun, not plural, all we're going to do is add an apostrophe and an S, okay? We do this to most singular nouns and to plural nouns that don't end with an S. So this is where things get a little bit complicated. It's those rules, okay? Let's see. So this is the most basic rule, and you will use it the most, okay? So if you ever have a question about how to make some kind of a noun possessive, you're going to want to only use the apostrophe S and see if it works. Sometimes it will, other times maybe not. Okay. However, English has some words that are plural that don't need an S. Can we think of any of these?
Fish.
I'm sorry, what was the word?
Fish.
Fish. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Graffiti. Graffito, graffiti.
Graffiti, yes. Graffiti has 2 F's, graffiti, and 1 T. Any other words?
Some Latin origin words changes like that without S. They express plural without S.
Okay.
Data, maybe data.
Data, sure. That's fine. I think for now, that's 3 is enough. with those words, we wouldn't always use the apostrophe S. For example, we might use it with children, sheep, because sheep and deer is the singular and plural form of the words, right? Women, men, of course, is the same. We don't say, for example, women's. Look, my computer doesn't even like that. We can't even say, we can say women's with an apostrophe S, but we can't just with a normal S. Oops. Okay. All right, so these are the words I was thinking about. So that's fine. Any questions here? People, for example. Okay. All right, so moving on. So here's like exception 1, basically. Okay. Can you read this little description for us?
Okay. These irregular plural words are looked at as if they were singular words, when making them possessive nouns.
Okay. So, any questions with this?
Oh, it's confusing, right? As a phonetically confusing, maybe.
Yes. So basically, these kinds of words, we will pretend basically that they are singular nouns, even though they're plural. Okay. But that's why we are going to add an apostrophe S. We're not going to use it in any other way. Okay. Does that make sense?
With apostrophe S and S?
Yes, an apostrophe S, because we want to say something, the people's voice, the people's opinion. It's the opinion of the people. So the people possess or have an opinion in this case, and this is how we're going to write it, okay? Does that make sense?
Sorry, the peoples are not singular and it's plural. So opinions.
Right.
So opinions, singular, opinions.
People's, oh, I suppose you're right. People's opinions, because it's more than one person, so that they will have more than one opinion, unless they all kind of agree on the same thing. Okay.
Oh, it's confusing.
All right. Any other questions before we continue? For now?
How about name, family name? Some family name has S, and so let me write. Wait a moment.
You're kind of
Oh my gosh.
another area of the rules. So
like teachers. If the family name is Richards, maybe a possessive of Richards is Richard.
Richards?
This is a possessive of Richards.
Okay. Yes, it is. So if you say, welcome to the Richards, that's how we would write this. Because technically after that, we'll say house, where it's implied, house would be implied afterwards. Okay. So, yes, or you can just say the Richards. That's it. No apostrophe, because you're just saying this is the family name of the people and it's plural. Okay, so there's a difference. And yes, this is another one of those rules that we will see. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so we're still with the singular nouns. Okay, so if the singular noun ends with an S, you can either add an apostrophe S or just apostrophe. And that's kind of what you just showed us, Ken, with the last name. Both are correct, but most often you don't add the extra S, because this becomes a personal choice, but only when you write this. If it's said, if it's spoken, you're not going to worry about where you put an apostrophe because it doesn't matter, okay? And this depends on how strange the word looks with an extra S at the end. Okay, did we understand that? So a singular noun, for example, the word, well, I don't know what to use because I have these in my examples. So the name Charles, for example, that his name ends with an S. It's a singular name. It's a singular person. Okay. So this is the kind of situation we're looking at. So for example, Charles's house looks better than Charles's house. Even though we're going to say the exact same thing in both situations, I pronounce them both the same.
Charles. So in this case, maybe there's two ways of
writing it.
Apostrophe. In this case, Charles apostrophe S, but can I write Charles apostrophe only to describe possessive? Yes.
This one,
yeah.
Yep, that's
you
fine.
wrote
That's
that.
not a
Okay.
problem.
So
You can choose.
Okay, got it.
Any other questions? No?
But, maybe first one looks better. So
yeah, exactly. And that's why it's a
okay,
personal choice. They say, I mean, it's technically correct both ways. I personally would not write the extra S. It's not needed. But if, for example, I were teaching a lower level group of students, at the very beginning, I would probably leave the apostrophe S so that they can start to understand when to use it, how to use it, what it looks like, etc. Later, after they're used to this, I might remove that extra S.
Right.
Okay. It's just like with some conditional sentences, for example. If I have a lower level student or group, I'm going to teach the very basics. And then as they progress and get better, then I would add kind of the more technical or more difficult parts. Okay. Good. Bob, you're pretty quiet. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I am quiet, but I have no questions.
All right. Well, that's fine. Maybe I'll have you read this next part.
Okay.
All right. Why don't you, well, it's little, but go ahead and read this, okay?
Okay. Here are some other singular noun examples. A baby's toy, John's car, James' book.
Okay, good. So you actually just said James. Now this actually will be pronounced James's book.
Yes. James's book, yes.
Now it sounds strange, but that's what we have to say. Okay, but everything else sounded great. A baby's toy, John's car, James's book.
Yes.
And again, because this is in the same category of Charles, that the singular name ends with an S, you then can choose with the apostrophe, S, or just the apostrophe. Okay?
Okay.
Questions? So for singular nouns, this is basically our exception. Okay? Singular nouns that end with S. So moving on. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. No, I have this part. This, yes. Okay. Plural nouns that don't end with an S, women's, sheep's, children's. These are the examples, okay, that we talked about earlier. So women's dresses, sheep's pasture, children's toys. Okay? Does that make sense? So we know women is a plural noun, but it does not have an S at the end. And that was from this list. Okay? English has some words that are plural that don't end with an S. Okay? All right. Let's go down. here. Okay, so now we have situation of when plural nouns become possessive. Okay, so we're talking about more S's here. Okay, Masako, could you please read, let me just move this down a tiny bit. Read this for us, please. Baba, I'll give you something more to read later, okay?
Okay. All you have to add is apostrophe to plural nouns that already end in S. You don't have to add an extra S to plural nouns that already end in S. All you have to do is add the apostrophe onto the end of the word to show that the plural noun is now a plural possessive noun.
Okay. So, should we look at this a little slowly now? Okay. So, again, same thing. Add apostrophe to a plural noun that already ends with S. So this would go for books. Books isn't a really good. I don't like that one. Anyway, sometimes you don't have to add the extra S, which is the same situation as James and Charles. Okay, with the apostrophe S, you don't need to. All right. Just the apostrophe, and that's pretty simple. Examples. The company's workers went on strike. Now, these were a little bit difficult for me to think of because, I don't know, companies, workers, I would just say the workers went on strike at that company. So this is kind of more advanced a little bit, I think, just because it's not as common for me to say. Okay. Also, you need to clean the horses' stalls tomorrow afternoon. All right. What kind of questions do you have with these?
Companies is plural, and these plural workers, companies workers went on strike. Is that this sentence? Is this sentence me?
Yes, the workers at the workers belong to the company. Okay, so that's the possessive.
Several companies workers went on strike.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, because this noun is plural. Companies. Okay. And we have more than one company, let's say. Okay. And their workers, all of the workers that work at those companies went on strike.
Okay.
Any questions? Any other questions? Okay, and then in this case, we have, well, horse's stall is where like the horses live on the farm or whatever you want to call it. And so we normally have more than one horse. So we have horses, and obviously it's plural. So we've added just the apostrophe and then the noun. Okay. I think this one's a little bit easier to see, to understand. What do we think? Do you have questions?
So there is not only one horse.
Correct. There are multiple horses.
There are several horses there. I see. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to continue on because now we have other situations too. So now we have hyphenated nouns and compound nouns that are plural. Ken, could you wait? Start up here, please, and you can read this.
Compound words and hyphenated words can seem difficult, but they aren't. Again, all you have to add is the apostrophe plus S at the end of the compound words or to the last word in a hyphenated noun.
So before we actually take a look at the examples, what are compound words?
Bookshelf.
Okay, so it's two nouns that are put together to form another word, right?
Right.
All right. What about a hyphenated noun?
It's getting compound words, but not yet.
What do you mean not yet?
How can I say so? Could be a new word, and many people use the word as a compound, like a compound words, but officially it has not confirmed yet as a compound words. So these yeah, such words.
Okay.
Yeah, hyphenated two words together.
Yes. Okay. Any other comments, Bob or Masako?
I'm thinking now. The
Okay.
two
That's
2-year-old boys.
okay. Sure.
Do I need to hyphen?
2-year-old boy.
Yeah.
2-year would be more of the adjective in this case, but the idea is that there are two words that are brought together by a hyphen. Okay, that little line in the middle. Let's take a look, because once you see these examples, you'll understand a little bit easier. Okay, so Bob, could you read these examples for us?
Oh, yes. My father-in-law's recipe for apple pie is my husband's favorite. The United States Post Office's employees don't work on Sundays.
All right, very good with your "s" here at the end. Very good. That was great. So we have two things. Ken, did you have a doubt? Did I hear something?
No, I didn't. I don't doubt. My father-in-law's, this case maybe it's almost like adjective.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I hyphenated.
Yes. Yes. Are you talking about father-in-laws here?
Yes, that
Okay.
that hyphenation. Yeah, hyphen.
Well, I don't know if that. I mean, father-in-laws. It's the name of a person. So to me, this is like a common noun. The difference is that with 2-year-old child, 2-year-old boy is the common noun, and 2-year, maybe even old, 2-year-old. I don't know if all of those words are hyphenated, but those would be more of the adjective. So father-in-law is actually the person. He's the common noun, but we need these three words together in order to make the complete idea. Okay? That's the difference. But we also have an apostrophe S here. So we have two in this sentence. What do we think about that? Is that confusing? Do you understand what's going on?
No, I got it.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions? So this, for example, would be the hyphenated words. And then in this case, we're going to use United States Post Offices, okay, as the other type, the compound. Even though it's not bookshelf, it's not two separate nouns put together, all of these words must go, not even that, must go together in order to form the complete idea, okay? So that's what happens in this part. Okay, any other questions about either of these two sentences? Okay. Now we're going to get showing possession when two nouns are joined together. So that's what you were kind of saying, Ken. Masako, could you read this, what we have on the screen?
Okay. If we are writing about two people, places, or things that share possession of an object, there are other rules you need to know. If two nouns share ownerships and indicate the possession only once. And on the second noun, make sure to add the apostrophe plus s to the second noun only. To the second noun only, I see.
All right, so kind of lots of words, lots of information. Let's take a look. All right, so for example, Will and Patricia's car is in the shop. What's going on? Who owns the car? What's going on?
And Patricia's car.
I think both of them own the car.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I agree with you, Ken.
Good.
Yes,
So
thank you.
Two people
Just-
own the car.
Yes. Mhm.
exactly. So the two nouns share ownership. We only use the possession once, and it's on the second noun, in this case, Patricia. Okay. And again, you just add the apostrophe s.
So it's not
So,
Will's and Patricia's car.
no.
So Will and Patricia's. In this sentence, only one apostrophe and s.
Correct.
I see. Yeah.
Because they share one car.
Mm.
They're probably married. We can say they're married. Okay. So another example of this would be Abby and Carrie's dog is very small. So Abby and Carrie own one dog, and that dog is very small. Does that
I
make
see.
sense?
Yeah.
All right, good. So this isn't too difficult. All right. However, when we want to show possession, when two nouns are joined and ownership is separate. This is going to get confusing. Ken, could you read this for us?
Okay. This is the most difficult rule of them all, but you probably won't need to refer to it too often. When two nouns indicate ownership, but the ownership is separate, each noun gets the apostrophe plus s. The examples below may help you understand exactly what this means.
All right. So, for example, okay, Lucy's and Ricky's dressing rooms were painted pink and blue. This means that each has his or her own dressing room, and they are different rooms. Okay, so that's why we have the apostrophe s on each part of, well, for each noun. Questions about this? Does this make sense? Are you confused?
No, makes sense to me.
Okay, so this is pretty easy.
Oh, sorry. In this sentence, Lucy's room are pink, and Ricky's rooms are blue.
Yes, but
I see. Yeah.
we're grouping the two people. They have the same, let's say, object. Okay, and the objects in the first example are different colors. Okay, so you have two different people, two different objects, the dressing rooms, all right, but they're also different colors. But we're kind of joining everything together, because if not, we would say Lucy's dressing room is pink, Ricky's dressing room is blue. It takes a lot longer to say that. So more advanced language, we would join all of that together. Does that make sense? Okay. So President Obama's and Senator Clinton's educations are outstanding. Each has his or her, in this case, Senator. Oh, I guess I don't know which one they're talking about. Education, but they attained separate educations. Okay, so again, we have the two people, same object, and this object is education. The educations are different. Does that make sense? So you're saying like kind of like a lot of information. You're saying that both Senator Clinton and President Obama are outstanding because of their education. Their educations are very outstanding, I should say. If not, that changes the context. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
I think it could be time to practice. So I want to write some words, and I would like the three of you to write what you think is the correct answer. Now, we won't do the last part that we saw because it's quite, well, it's more advanced. So let me think. We'll do person. We'll do the word pen. We'll do the word cat. Thomas. For now. Okay, so we have 4 words to practice. All right. So I would expect the 3 of you to write for just the apostrophe s, the possessive forms. Okay.
So, should we write?
Yeah, I think it would be good to write in the chat box and see what you think is the correct answer, and then I can write the correct answer in the website, or the website, no, the Word document. Oof, it is definitely a Monday. Okay. Things are looking good so far. Bob, are you going to try or not?
Yes.
You don't have to if you don't want to. I mean, I'm not going to force you.
I have not apostrophe in my computer.
You don't? That's really funny. Why not?
Maybe non apostrophe.
There's well, it's a comma, but the idea is there isn't it. That's okay. All right, so persons. Oh, persons. Well, I need more information. Pens, cats, and Thomases. I would do that. All right. So now if we want to make a sentence, oops, persons. How would we use persons in a sentence? First, we have to think of the object, the noun in this case. There's a possessive noun, but we actually need the noun. A person's what? Persons. Let's say backpack. Oops. For example, we could say, I found a person's backpack on the floor. For example. Okay. What about pens? What kind of noun could we have?
These pens are nice, Ken.
Oh.
And for example, the pen's ink is running low. What's ink? What is that?
It's liquid inside the pen to
Exactly.
write.
That's what makes the pen write. Yes.
It's a fountain pen.
Sure. Well, it doesn't really matter what kind of pen. All pens have ink. The tip of the pen is what's different, and so the pen might write different. But the ink is what's inside. What about cats? What could a cat's possessive object be?
My cat's name is Michael.
Ah, okay. I like that. All right, so cat's name is Michael. Mine is Nano. Oops, Nano. All right, and Thomas. Thomas's.
This is Thomas's very expensive car.
I'll have to tell him. This is Thomas's very expensive car.
Maybe Benz or Volkswagen.
Probably a BMW.
Yeah, BMW.
Perfect. Good. So any other kind of questions or anything like that? Any doubts?
No.
I mean, I know there's a lot of steps. I know there's a lot of things, but I mean, if you first understand what a noun is, and then how do you, excuse me, what a possessive noun is, the basic structure is this. Like I said, it's the apostrophe S. The problem comes in that when you have multiple subjects, but it's their one object, or vice versa, where you have two objects and two subjects with different things, but they're the same. That's when things get a bit more complicated. But in general, I don't think it's really, really too difficult. What do we think now?
Wow. Its basic rules are very difficult for me for our Japanese.
Well, and that's why I wanted to do this class today, because I know it can be difficult. It really doesn't need to be difficult, but if you don't understand it, then obviously it is. In Spanish we do like the noun, and then so we'll do the noun and then the word they, and then we'll do the the other normally proper noun or the other noun in general. So, I mean, we have a completely different structure. We don't use the apostrophe S. I remember one time I completely forgot how to do this in Spanish, and it was a Spanish test I had, and I wrote the apostrophe S. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I can't remember. So, so this, in Japanese, how would you say something like this?
Very different structure.
Yeah, totally different.
Maybe we tend to add of. So my question is, what is the difference between, how can I say,
the toy of the cat?
Toy of the cat, cat's toy, and toy of the cat. That's
we normally don't say the toy of the cat. Now, there's something that people, what is it called? I can't think of it. I know what I want to say, but the people of London, for example, the people of London is more common than London's people. You know what I mean? So I think there's something like when the proper, I don't know what this is called, but I know it happened I know it exists. I think it's in a B2 book from when I was working at an academy a long time ago. That actually would be something to compare, because I just can't remember. Now in English, the toy of the cat we understand, but that's not how we would naturally say it. That is how they say it in Spanish. And the DE word in Spanish means of or from in English. And so that's really what they're doing. The toy of the cat is literally what they would say in Spanish. So it's completely opposite. I mean, they change everything. So
So it's like a collocation. The people of London is good, sounds good, but London's people is not, doesn't sound good.
Right, it doesn't sound good, and I don't know why. I mean, it follows today's rules. That's what's confusing about it, because London is a proper noun, apostrophe S, people, the people who belong to London or are from London. But London really can't possess anything. Do you know what I mean? Because London isn't a living being. People, animals, those kinds of things can have possessions because they have things. They're the owner. So maybe that's the difference between, London's people and the people of London. That London really can't have anything in its possession.
Yes.
What a crazy language sometimes. Bob, do you have any questions? How do you say it, Bob, in your language?
No, I hear no questions, but yeah, only learning grammar today.
Yeah, today's a grammar day. Sorry, Bob. Bob's favorite is grammar.
A long time ago, I not learning grammar.
Yes, well, sometimes it's good to review. So I'm sure this was a good review for you. Let's go and see what we're doing on Wednesday. It's a business class. One moment. Core values at work. So we'll do a little reading, and then we'll talk about core values in order to be successful at work. That's basically it. So we have that, and I don't know, I think that's about it. I don't have anything else that we really need to talk about. Do you have any questions?
Nothing so far.
Okay. Well, good.
Later class is very interesting and helpful.
Well, I'm glad. Not every class is probably this helpful. It depends on what it is. But, I mean, next time, for example, will be more vocabulary for business and things like that. And then after that, we're doing icebreakers. I like to do a little bit different icebreakers for meeting new people, which could be used in the business world or in everyday life. And then actually Wednesday the 27th, don't miss that class because we'll be doing tongue twisters. And everyone likes tongue twisters, don't we?
Thank you for your nice lesson.
Good. Well, that's the rest of the month. The 3 classes that are left. Yeah, Tuesday the 18th. Yes.
The time flies.
It does.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun. It does. Good. And when you're learning, when you're involved, and everything like that. So it's wonderful. Well, I'm glad that you all 3 could make it. Bob, it's been a long time. Bob, when are you going on your new
new job?
Boat? The ship.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
But in the meantime, I have new opportunity.
Oh.
Because I'm very quietly, I must thinking about this. It's a very special place and very special job in the Hong Kong, in the China.
Really?
Really? And I learning Chinese.
You're learning Chinese?
In recent days, now I'm joking, but I looking the site and the YouTube, what's happening. Yes, Hong Kong, big city.
Yeah.
And many British Englishmen in the Hong Kong.
Really? Okay, so well, yeah, come to your English classes and you'll be fine.
Yes.
So, very good. Well, hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday as well. And for now, good luck with everything, okay? Enjoy the weather. It's cloudy now again. Who knows? And we'll see you on Wednesday, okay?
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.